I'm Margaret in Windsor. I'm just going to see if this is taking, okay? Yeah, it is. I want to put this up. First of all, when I'm talking the other day, and I'm going to put this next video up, and that's it, at least about the subject, I think. What happened to me on the 3rd of this month. And it was a driver, yellow cab. And I've been told that if I kept talking about it or telling people, well, I put it up on YouTube and I still am, and I still intend to put up what has happened to me. And I've told the truth about everything that I've put up. It was like a summary because I couldn't get the law to work for me. I want to go back to what happened. It wasn't Yellow Cab that threatened me with not being able to get another cab. This came through somebody else. Oh, wow. I have never, that I can remember, except one time with some trouble with some coffee, that I had bought, and there was something I didn't have it in the backpack, or so I did call back about that. That's the only time, I mean, over all these years since '86, when I've had money to get a cab, but there's been a lot of times. That's the only way other than walking I had for a long, long time, and I can't walk anymore. I never had problem with Yellow Cab. I have said nice things because that's how they treated me. And at times I've had to trying to keep the few things together I have. I know they didn't enjoy putting the drivers putting probably, well, I don't know, other people get a lot of groceries, which I don't do, but anyway, they've always been nice to me. I've never said different. In fact, I have said how nice they were. So this happened, and I want to go back when I first came here. No money. Ended up finally to have a place to go up on the Appalachian Trail, up off Mountain Pass Road here in Trouttville, about 15 miles out of Roanoke. I'd walk it and come back here and try to get a job, try to get a place to live, all this, which really I've been shut down. I remember calling a cab. Well, Yellow Cab was the only one here that I know of back then. And I called, and a limo showed up. I mean, back then they didn't have the limo service as it is today, I don't think. They were smaller, and this is years ago, before Roanoke became bigger and all that. Anyway, the driver, his name was Pete. He showed up and he was driving a limo, really nice limo you don't send out. And I'm going up to the Appalachian Trail up on the Blue Ridge Parkway. I've got enough money to pay to get me up there and a little food to last me because I didn't have a place to go to. I was on the street again. Okay, he shows up with a limo. Well, he took me up there, and I remember getting off there at Cornelius. I was going into Cornelius Shelter, yeah. Anyway, I wondered why he sent the limo. Well, later, I met, I think this was after it was after this, I believe, the limo was sent out, and I went up there. I met the owner of Yellow Cab back then. And I've said this, he was a nice man. He was from Huntsville, Alabama, and he had known Werner Von Braun. That's NASA, all that space, Redstone Arsenal, all this. And I believe he said something about who knew about me. Well, he was very kind. So what's the owner showing up? He was very nice. I've never said anything different. I think he left it to his nephews. He died sometime later. And Remember he and Pete, and it must have been Pete's mother, came up to Full Heart Knob Shelter and later and helped me down with my, I had a suitcase and the things I carried my pictures and with, and it's a little rough up and down, even back then for me, and I was a bit younger, believe me. But he helped me down, and Pete did, and I think it's Pete's mom. And we went to the truck stop then. It's since been torn down last year or so, but he bought all of us a meal there. And that's the last time I ever saw him. I think I don't know, I'm trying to remember. Somebody rode a motorcycle. I don't know if it's, and I don't know why he would be riding a motorcycle. So anyway, maybe I've gotten that part confused. But anyway, that's the last time I saw him. And I did see Pete and his mother later. I was down at the post office in Troutville. This is sometime later, maybe a year or two later, I don't know. And I had a few groceries I'd gotten there in Troutville. And I don't know how it was going to be. I didn't have backpacks and stuff then. And I don't think I did. It was so heavy anyway, I couldn't have gotten it up all that time up the mountain. So they stopped and picked me up, Pete and his mom. So I don't think I ever saw either one of them after then. I'm not sure. I guess the reason I'm putting this up is I remember the limo and the owner that knew Werner Von Braun, and the fact that he had moved up here. He evidently had lived in Huntsville, and he left it to his nephews when he died. And I've never, that I can remember, said anything bad about Yellow Cab. I mean, I didn't make this happen. And why should I be quiet? Now, I'm just going to leave it at that, because I do wonder if the way that it happened, that I was just 1 minute I'm in the cab, and the next minute he's transferred the music that was on the radio, I know, somehow to what I think was a tape. I remember it was a record that you would think was made by a pro, maybe. But the words of it and everything were so vile. I remember something happened then, though, when he transferred it back, and because it angered me, and I thought, how dare you? And I was going to tell him, and that's the last I knew. And I've told the rest of it here because I really wonder when they can knock, and I got knocked out, however, if it was mind control, if it was hypnosis, hypnosis is a little easier. I mean, they just do it and you're right there, you're aware. Well, I wasn't aware I was getting it. Normally, if someone is hypnotized, they don't go in telling about mind control and how that's done. That's without your knowledge. Anyway, I was knocked out. I hadn't had anything to eat since breakfast here, and it had nothing to do with here. I had my coffee as normal and ate breakfast, which I've done for going on 2 years now, a year and a half at least, going on 2 years. And so this had to do with there in the cab. I had been up at the to get my small income I get. And herein is, I wonder if the whole thing, there's some other stuff going on, was to get hands on my card, the number off my card. I don't know, I guess I'll find out. But then I also wondered about what happened to a young girl here that was in college back in '09, and her parents, well, a lot of people would know who I'm talking about. Jesse Matthews, a black man, is in prison up in Fairfax, Virginia. And, well, he was found, that's where the court case went to. Huh. Why would it go to? Well, there was something else up there too. Wow. That was involved, supposed to. And then there was a young lady from England that her parents moved over here. And I don't know if they were referring to me. It didn't say that. The only thing when they were interviewed was they came here to try to help. Now maybe she was in college up here at Charlottesville, University of Virginia. So I don't know if they had any reference to me or not. But she was taken out, way out in a horrible way, and similar to what the other young girl I'm talking about. I just wonder though. I never knew that she was put in a cab until maybe a year ago. I'm not sure. Yeah, had to be a year ago because, yeah. That another cab driver told me. They had picked me up at, well, I won't rattle. You tell the truth, and if you mention something that was told to you, you might get them in trouble for telling me and telling the truth. So I won't mention who told me. But it evidently is true. She got into a cab. She couldn't get back into the Metallica. And she got into a cab there on this bridge where I was at one point years ago, stranded, nowhere to go, no money, in this whole mess, just sick. Turned on the street to have anything done to me. Her parents go back there almost every year, I think, and leave flowers on the bridge where evidently she was picked up. I remember the same bridge out of Charlottesville years ago. That's what I'm talking about, being there, no one helping me. And anyway, I found out that she got in the cab with Jesse Matthews. I didn't know he drove a cab. He's supposed to work for the hospital in Charlottesville. So anyway, I wonder how he subdued her. He got her in. She was already a bit hurt. I don't know what happened to her, but she had left her phone with her friends in the Metallica. She had to go outside or to the bathroom or something. Anyway, she got locked out, and he picked her up. I did not know this till last year, this part of it. And, well, he took her way out, and she pretty much, she was done in. I mean, she's dead, and she suffered a lot. I wonder if the same thing was used on her. She had no chance to fight back. You think that maybe he just locked the doors and wouldn't let her out, but then you think, well, she could have screamed or she could have knocked on the windows, and because this was near Charlottesville, so there's plenty of people would have seen her, especially near Metallica, so they would have called the cops. At least it wouldn't have been carried out this way. I guess I'm thinking, did this happen to her, and how's it done? I don't know if what happened to me, that method of what was done to me, happened to her or not. But it's a question to ask. If you can simply get into a cab and think you're safe, and these things happen to you, and then you're called the liar, or don't talk about it,